and he's recently got himself a brand new job with Ingram Micro, thanks to his work through Industry Connect. So, Pat, why don't you tell me about the work that you used to do back home before coming to New Zealand?
Back home, I was working for a American multinational company called Brilio, and I was a Salesforce administrator, managing the sales operations through an app called Salesforce, a cloud app called Salesforce. So I worked with all the C-level employees, trying to gather requirements, configure their business requirements into the system, and ensure that the system is used and user adoption is increased, and value is generated through various reporting frameworks. And that's been my primary job there in India.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to New Zealand through an accident, because my wife had got herself deputed to work in Spark, and I had a kid, and it was kind of getting traumatic for us both to me to manage the kid alone, and my wife was staying here alone without the kid. So I had to come leaving. It was a pretty cushy job there. I had a house, I had a car, I had everything to dream for.
Yeah.
But I had to come, and I just wanted to field inquiries, come to New Zealand and check out how the country is and things like that.
Okay.
When I came here, I found this country pretty interesting, and I thought, and myself and my wife decided that we'll stay back and raise a kid here, because it seems to be a baby friendly country, and it was awesome. So I started applying for job. I came in fact last 2014 by November, December, and I started applying for jobs in Jan, February.
Mm.
Though I had gone through a couple of interviews, and I wasn't able to clear the interviews. Though I had done my interviews pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was trying to figure out what is wrong with me. What are that nuances which is missing, which I'm not able to crack and get an interview.
How many interviews do you think you'd been to at that point?
I've been to 4 interviews.
For them? Okay.
And that's when my wife suggested try Industry Connect. They seems to be pretty well, and they've got good ratings and things.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I was not very sure though. I came to the first screening interview with Andrew and Ray. I mean initially you have this resistance, right? So I was not very sure though, but I thought I had no other choice. When you have they say beggars can't be choosers, so I had no other choice. So I kind of started, and that's when I was down. I was kind of giving up on the New Zealand job market, and I was kind of telling my wife, I don't know if things will work out here. So and first 2-3 days at Industry Connect, it's not so much about the technology or things like that. It's basically you start regaining your belief, because that was more important. The best thing about Industry Connect is that they give you a belief and direction.
Mm.
And the precise moment where I kind of started regaining the moment was when Ray had sent me the template, and in the template I kind of changed my initial resume, ported all the data into the new template which Ray had given me.
So this is a CV template?
It's the CV template, yeah.
Yeah.
The CV template, sorry. And that's the moment I kind of got back, oh, this looks impressive. Anybody who looks at the resume will surely give me a call. Then obviously, I was passionate about, managing CRM, but I was also, deeply passionate about, coding, understanding, how, I was coming from an environment of user and, the customers and things like that. But here I came to an environment where I used to think in terms of how a compiler thinks, how a server thinks and things like that, how a browser thinks, So that was an altogether new experience, because I was learning new technology as well. So I never felt that I was wasting time or I was atrophying myself. So I thought it was a value add. So it was an amazing experience, yeah.
And
Sorry.
how did it help? No, it's all right. How did it help you also understand the New Zealand working culture?
Absolutely. In that sense, for me, that was not a big problem, because I worked in an American corporate culture.
Okay.
So it wasn't, but there were certain nuances which was very different from an American culture. The kind of eye contact you make to people, and it was not there in the culture. When you just speak and you leave off in American culture.
Yeah.
And the way you send your messages, mail, it was too formal in the way you just write one word, but it was not like that here.
Sure.
And that reflected in my covering letter itself. And it was personal, and it was formal as well. So that helped me a lot. Apart from that, the covering letter, the eye contact stuff, and it was not just about your knowledge, but how you make a connect during an interview. Those are things which I learned with Industry Connect.
Okay, so would you say then, as a summary of that too, would you then say, do you think you'd have the job you got today without Industry Connect's help?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's for sure. That's a silver bullet statement I'm making right now.
Awesome. So what would you then say to somebody who is in a similar situation to yourself, who's thinking about being a part of Industry Connect? What advice would you give them?
That's what I'm saying. If you want to crack crack a job in the New Zealand job market, irrespective of whether you're experienced or not, whether you're